So for SSES Module 2, Quarter 4, Week 3, this is the second part about Earth. For this time, we are going to talk about describing the things found in water and land. Okay, let's go back first to our previous topic because we had the first module for 2 weeks so that we won't forget about the important details about what was discussed in module 1. Okay, let's try to answer this one which will serve as our review. So this was the long test that my pupils answered maybe 2 years ago. So this will serve as our review. Okay, so for part 1, identify if the sentence is true or false. So all of these were discussed in module 1 about Earth. Okay, number 1, we live on Earth. Is it true or false? Nakatira ba tayo sa Earth? Yes, so we can answer it with true. Okay, so ibig sabihin tama. So number 2, the Earth is composed more of land than water. So we mentioned that the Earth is composed of land, water, and air. And among those three, so because atmosphere where we have our air, so hindi na siya na-measure, na equivalent to how much land and water the Earth is composed of. But between the two, land and water, there is more water than land. So this is the opposite. The statement mentioned is the opposite, so therefore this is false. So what makes it false? Meron nakalagay dito, more of land. Mas madami daw ang lupa, which is not correct. So it should be water instead. Next, number 3, air is everywhere. Okay, I remember this was mentioned in one of the explore activities. So air is everywhere. It is correct. So this is true. Next, the Earth is composed of air, water, and land. Okay, so if you remember yung one of the activities where you have to write the word land, air, and water in correct part of the picture of the Earth. So this is true. Okay, next, in water is where human beings live. So water ba tayo nakatira? Are we like Aquaman? No, so kasi Aquaman is fiction, fantasy lang siya. So this one is considered false. Okay, let's now proceed with the next one. So we have here some examples of land form and water form, and we are to identify which one is A, river, B, waterfalls, C, volcano, D, hill, E, plains or plain, and F, mountain. Okay, if you remember how they are different from each other, so what features, what were mentioned about each of them, each of the landforms and waterforms, then we can identify which one are these from the given picture. Okay, number 1, what do you think is? Let's begin with the letters instead. For a river, which one is a picture of a river? Okay, it's number 5. So this is number 5. Picture is a river. So if you notice, river, it's long water form. So long water form, it flows from mountain down to the seas and oceans. So it flows papunta sa dagat, papunta sa karagatan. So usually mahaba siya. They just differ in how wide, pero usually siya pahaba siya kasi it flows from mountains. So nagkakaroon siya parang it makes its own path down to the sea and then to the ocean. Next one, B, waterfalls. Which one is a picture of waterfalls? It's number 6. Okay, it's a landform. So B here is number 6 picture is waterfalls. So waterfalls naman, if I mentioned that river flows from mountains to seas and ocean. So bago yan mapunta yung to the river, meron mo ng waterfalls. Kagaya sa Mount Isarog, meron yung Yabu Falls, tapos meron ng Yabu River. Kaso lang, yung Yabu na falls, na alis na, parang may trail dati yan, tapos na-damage na, so it cannot be reached anymore by foot. Siguro kailangan ng technical skills for it to be reached. Pero yung Yabu Falls, it flows papunta naman sa Yabu River. So yan ang waterfall. So they are connected with each other. So I'll mark it, those that we used already. And then for letter C, volcano. Which one is a volcano? So it's number 3. So this one is C. So volcano, it has crater, pero hindi naman lahat it erupts kasi meron tayong active and then inactive. Pero usually wala na yung terms na dormant kasi it cannot be parang ang measurement, we cannot declare na a certain volcano is dead or it will not erupt anymore kasi may mga certain na degrees na later on it will become active. So parang parang kung nakaidlip lang, just taking a nap, tapos yung iba naman awake. Yan, so that's about volcanoes. So, ang mountains, tama ba? Considered to be volcanoes because may activity underneath. So, ang Mount Asog, it's a mountain but it has a crater, and it was long ago that it erupted. So, na siya? Hindi naman dineclare na it's not a volcano anymore. Pero, usually, ang name niya, it considered mountain. So, Mount Asog. Okay, so next, hill. So, hill, we mentioned that it's not as high as mountain. So, and then kung ang mountain medyo patulis siya kasi it's higher. Ang hill naman, wala siya yung parang peak sa dulo, parang lang siya, parang curve lang. So, this one, number 2, is a hill. So, yan. Kagaya ng Chocolate Hills. And then, E, plain. So, parang siya, wide na landform, wide and flat na landform. So, it's not the mountain, it's not the hill, it's not the volcano, kasi dapat plain from the word itself. So, the answer for this is number 4. This one is a picture of plain. And then, for F, mountain, so ito na siya. This is higher, this is taller. So, and then meron siyang peak. So, yan ang mountain. So, aside from these 6, there are more landforms and more waterforms. So, when I mentioned about yung water flows, yung mga waterforms, so, yung nabanggit na waterfalls, rivers, seas, ocean, the lake is not connected with them kasi surrounded siya with land. And paano siya nagkakatubig? When it rains. And then if it rains heavily, saka naman siya na-overflow, and then it will go to other waterfalls. But mostly, it does not flow, unlike the rivers, the seas, and then the waterfalls. Okay, next one. So let's now use the words in the box. For A, ocean, B, sea, C, lake, D, volcano, E, valley. So which one is being described? Number 12, it has crater, so we can make use of that as our word clue. It has crater, it sometimes erupts, It emits smoke, ash, and lava. So obviously, the answer for this is volcano. So it's letter D. So yeah. Next, number 13, water farm that does not flow. So hindi siya umaagos. It is not connected with other water forms. So our answer is lake. So para ano lang siya, nakukulong kumbaga. So if ang lake siya, usually ang ano niya, wala na yan, surrounded with land na lang siya. So kung sakali man it flows, very little na lang yan connected sa pwedeng sa stream, pero mostly nakukulong lang talaga siya. Kagaya nung Buhi Lake, so kapag summertime, nagkakaroon ng parang kasi sobrang init, so the water content sa lake parang naging concentrated na minsan din it would cause fish kill kasi kulang na, dapat mas mataas na din yung tubig, and then para yung dumi din kumbaga ano yan, there should be more water in it. Next, number 14, it is the largest and deepest water form. So the only water form we have here is ocean, sea, lake. So among these three, the largest one and the deepest one is the ocean. And then ano lang siya. So ocean is farther from land kasi siya na yung pinakamalalim. Okay, next, number 15, it is flat land between mountains. So we mentioned that plain is a wide flat land, and aside from that, there's another flat na landform, but this one is between mountains. Halimbawa ito, so halimbawa there are mountains. So dito sa part na yan, may flat dyan na land, kung saan nasa at the foot. So this one, nandyan yan, yung tinatawag nating valley. So the word for that is valley. So usually, andito rin yung where the soil is good for planting. Kasi kumbaga, yung nutrients is also the land here is also good for planting kasi surrounded by mountains. Kumbaga nandoon yung kumbaga nakakatulong so that it will bear vegetables, it will bear fruits, tapos there will be good harvest of vegetables. Yan. So kaya doon sa La Trinidad Valley, surrounded by mountains, kaya doon din madami doon ng strawberry, ng lettuce, and then other vegetables. And then number 16, it is connected with ocean. It is near landforms. So ocean, because it's very deep, it's very wide, so malayo na siya sa landform. But as it go nearer sa landform, nagiging mas mababaw na unlike the ocean. So we are now talking about letter B, sea. So mas malapit na. Yung beach, where we spend our swimming, our summertime, so doon, it's called sea. So hindi pa yung ocean. Kasi kung ocean na yun, nandun na yung pinakamalalim na. So we just enjoy the beach. Yan. Ano pa lang yan? Sea. S-E-A. So that's it for our review. Okay, now let's move on to the next module. So I'll read it to you, beginning with this part. So lesson: things found in water and land on earth. So this time, we are talking about the things found in water and land on earth. Okay, there is land, water, and air on the earth. People build their homes on land. They get food from plants and animals that live on land and water. living things and non-living things are found on Earth. In this module, we will learn about the things found in water and land on Earth. Okay, so our objective with the help of Teacher Sheena. So sabi niya, "Hi, I am Teacher Sheena. I'm going to guide you in your journey to this learner's material. At the end of the module, you should be able to describe the things found in water and land with specific objectives, identify the living things, and then identify the non-living things." So we have now terms living things and non-living things. Okay, to start with, let's have the pre-test. The direction is color the box green if the picture shows a living thing, and color the box brown if it shows a non-living thing. Okay, so number 1 we have water. Number 2, pelican. Number 3, seaweed. Number 4, car. And then number 5, fish. So you need to use 2 shades of crayons, green and brown. Green if it's living thing, brown if it's non-living thing. So that's 1 to 5. Pause this video to finish this page and then resume if you're done. I wish to congratulate you. I suggest that you take the learning module seriously to learn more. For engage, look around you. Draw and name one living and non-living thing that you can see around you. Draw under the correct column heading. So we have 2 boxes or 2 columns. Living thing, you just think of one, only one. Draw and color, and then another for non-living thing, and then below write its name. So you either let me finish the video before you can answer engage, or you just pause it. For explore A, to tell if something is living or not, we have to investigate for the characteristics of life such as growth, ability to reproduce, movement, and ability to breathe, and the need for food and nutrients. So this is in connection with our previous lesson in second quarter about plants and animals. So those things that we learned about plants and animals will be applied, or we can associate them with this module. Okay, exploring living things. Directions: answer questions on characteristic of life that applies to each by putting a check in the appropriate column. So there are five different objects, animals, plants, and then we are to check the proper column if it's a yes. Okay, so number 1, cactus. Does it grow? Does it get bigger over time? So if your answer is yes, then you have to put a check. But if not, just leave it blank. Next, does it reproduce? That means does it reproduce? That means making more of it. So dumadami ba sila? And then the third question, does it need nutrients like food and water? So you just don't forget to check. You check the proper column to answer the question. And then number 2, same set of questions for caterpillar. Number 3, pot. Number 4, snail. And number 5, stone. And then when you're done, if you completed the table, you may answer the next set of questions. Based on the activity, answer the following questions. Number 1, which among the things listed above are living things? Alin ba dyan yung mga living things? Living things are those that can be answered yes with these 3 questions. If it grows, if it reproduces, dumadami sila. If it needs food and water, then it means it's a living thing. So you just name them. Number 2, which among them are non-living things? So it's the opposite. If it cannot grow, it does not produce, and it does not need food and water to live, so it can be considered non-living thing. And then number 3, how can you tell if something is a living thing? Paano ba malalaman kung ito ay may buhay? So that's it for Explore A. Explore B, Find Me. Find and name 3 living things and 3 non-living things in the given picture. So the copy provided to you is in color, so you can identify some living things and some non-living things. So you need only 3 for each group. Next, explain. Answer the following questions. Number 1, what are some living things on Earth? Next, number 2, what are some non-living things found on Earth? So you can mention only 3. Now, 3 answers for number 1 and also 3 answers for number 2. And then number 3, what makes living things different from non-living things? So, ano ang nakakapagpaiba with living things sa non-living things? So, you just list them down. So, pwedeng 2 or more answers. Next, let's now go to the discussion. Remember, things on Earth. There are many kinds of living things on Earth. They are divided into two groups, plants and animals. So if it's a plant, if it's an animal, then it is a living thing. They grow and reproduce. There are more than 1 million kinds of living things on Earth. So on the picture, it's a picture of living things, plants and animals. Next, most living things live on land. People build their homes on land. They get their food from the plants and animals on land and in water. So therefore, you, si teacher, ang family, and everybody is considered a living thing. Next, living things can be found in all kinds of environments. Some live in deserts, while others in icy waters. Many big and small animals live in forests. So, some examples of living things. And next one, land, water, and air are non-living things. They do not grow and reproduce. Hindi naman sila dumadami, hindi nanganganak. So our planet is made up of non-living things such as rocks and minerals. Rocks that crumble form pebbles, stones, sand, and soil. These rocks contain minerals. Earth has all the things needed by living things to live. It gives air for people and animals to breathe. The soil gives nutrients to plants as they grow. So it doesn't mean na pag non-living thing, wala lang siya, parang pang-display lang sa Earth. So they have their purpose. So they are also important just like the plants and animals. Okay, so key concepts. Living things are found in Earth. Earth is a good place for living things. Kasama tayo. People, animals, and plants are living things. So they move, they grow, and reproduce. So we move, we grow, and we reproduce. Living things need land, water, and air. Animals find food and shelter on Earth. Plants get water and minerals from the earth. Non-living things do not grow and reproduce. These non-living things are found on Earth. Okay, so for Apply Your Learning, Love Mother Earth Challenge. We live on Earth, we get things we need on Earth. How can we take care of the Earth? So directions on the next page. So in your module, I provided a blank page. Nilagyan ko lang ng border so that your poster will look good. Makatulong na din na doon yung parang border. So you are to make a poster about how you can take care of the earth and every living and non-living thing on it. So for you to make your artwork look good, so don't forget to color it. So this is the scoring. How will I give you a total of 20 points? So you just finish this video and then you go back to that poster making. And then test yourself. tell whether it is a living or non-living thing, write L for living things and NL for non-living things. So yan, we have number 1, photos na plant, number 2, baby, number 3, water, number 4, rocks or yan, soil, and then number 5, cat. So L or NL. Next one. Let's continue. Part 2. Put a check if the statement describes a living thing and a cross if it describes a non-living thing. Number 1, it cannot grow and move. Kung living thing, check. If it's non-living thing, then put an X. It cannot grow and move. Number 2, it grows in size and undergo development. When we say development, there are changes happening. There are changes that happen. So it grows in size and undergo development. Number 3, it can reproduce and make more of itself. Pwedeng dumami. So pwedeng manganak. So it can become more. Next, number 4, it needs food and water to survive. It needs food and water to survive. And then number 5, it cannot reproduce. It cannot reproduce. So check if it's living thing, X if it's non-living thing. And for reflect part, wow, congratulations for finishing this module. What have you learned? Put a check under the proper column. So number 1, I can identify the living things found on Earth. Is it easy for you that you can tell that a certain object is living thing or non-living thing? I mean, if it's living thing, so put a check under yes or no. And then number 2, I can identify the non-living things found on Earth. Is it yes or no? Next, page 13, we have glossary. The words used in this module is reproduce. It means to reproduce new individuals of the same kind. Growth, the process of growing in size. Nutrients, a substance that promotes growth and maintains life. Minerals, naturally occurring substances such as stone, coal, salt, and water. And then for the post-test, last part, directions, write yes if the statement is correct and write no if it is not correct. Number 1, land and water are non-living things. Land and water are non-living things. Number 2, Earth is not a good place for living things. Earth is not a good place for living things. Number 3, living things need land, water, and air. Living things need land, water, and air. Number 4, living things can move, grow, and reproduce. Living things can move, grow, and reproduce. Number 5, living things do not need food and water. Living things do not need food and water. So if you are sure of your answers until number 5, so hi, I am back to congratulate you again. If you still have some errors, so I'll let you know if you got some errors. You may read the module again or set a conference with your teacher until you learn. So you're done with module 2 for week 3. So in fourth quarter, there are 6 modules in all. So it means there are 4 more, and then we are almost done. Konti na lang. We'll wait until June, then we are done with all the modules. So that's it for science for this week. Good day.